Hi, and I'm here today to tell you how to drive a stick shift. Well, not tell you, but hopefully help you learn how to drive a stick shift. Of course, automatic cars are more popular right now, but they still do make manual transmission vehicles. So it's a great skill to have to know how to drive a stick shift because you'll never know when it'll come in handy or when you'll have to drive a stick shift one day. When you first start out, you do want the car to be off just so you can get familiar with the new pedals, with the new gear shifter, so that the first time you drive, you're not completely lost and it'll be quicker so you can actually get on the real road. And now I'll show you a picture of what the clutch looks like. The clutch is the one that you press when you're shifting gears. So now you have the clutch, the brake pedal, and the gas pedal. The clutch is the one that's closest to me. Not sure if that's your right or your left, I'm sorry. But the one that's closest to me is the clutch. Then you have your brake and your gas pedal. You'll also have new gears as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 if it's a 5-speed, and you'll also have reverse. So when, like I said, you have the car off, you just want to practice. You can even make the sounds if you want to, but you just want to practice moving the car from first gear, second gear, depressing the clutch when you need to, that sort of thing. Once you get familiar with that, then you'll want to take somebody that's familiar with driving a stick shift with you. But you'll want to go to like a deserted parking lot or a deserted road. Just make sure that it's level and even, no hills or anything, and that you have enough room to practice driving. So once you get to that parking lot or that road, you'll want to, if you have the car in neutral, then you don't need to have the clutch pressed just yet, but if you do have the car in gear, you want to make sure you're pressing down on the clutch. So once you get to that point, you start the car up with the clutch depressed, and then you're ready to move into first gear. When you move into first gear, make sure that you're slowly letting up off of the clutch, and then the quicker you let up off of it, the quicker you'll get into gear. And then you'll hear the car get, I'm not sure how to explain it, but it'll sound like it needs to change gears. You'll hear it when you have the car on. And when you hear that, you want to make sure you're shifting in the second gear. But after you get out of first gear, or even if you're in reverse, it's not necessary to slowly release the clutch. You can just go ahead and quickly shift into that gear, and you can release the clutch like that automatically. So then you're shifting into second gear, and the gears after that are pretty much the same. You'll hear it speed up in a way, the engine, and when you hear that, you're ready to shift into the next gear. So then you practice that a couple times, driving around the parking lot, shifting into different gears. And once you get familiar with that, you also want to practice reversing. It's similar to going into first gear in the fact that once you slowly let up off of the clutch, that's how you reverse. Because if you reverse letting up off the clutch too much, you'll reverse really fast and you might hit somebody. We don't want that to happen. So you practice that, and then just keep in mind that you will stall. Even the most experienced drivers still stall in manual transmission vehicles. So you want to practice intentionally stalling as well. You want to come to a stop and then have the vehicle stall out, because when it stalls out, you want to quickly be able to restart the car and move it into the gear so you can get going. And then you're almost ready for the real road. You also want to keep in mind that on hills, manual transmission vehicles, they tend to slide back when they're shifting gears, so keep that in mind. Most people should know to give enough room, for the car in front of them on a hill, but you just want to be aware that, you could shift back and slide back at the same time. Okay, so you've been practicing, you're in the parking lot or on the deserted road, and you're shifting it from first, second, third, fourth, sometimes fifth, and into reverse. Now, you're ready for the big leagues. You want to get on the road, and I would recommend still having somebody that's familiar, unless you're just really confident and you think you have it. Then at that point, you get on the real road and you drive. Keep in mind, you don't want to panic. You don't want to, freak out. Stalls will happen, and you want to make sure that you're definitely paying attention to your surroundings. It is easier to pay attention driving a stick shift because you have to shift gears. You don't have time to, look at your phone or look around because you need to pay attention to shifting gears. So you're on the road and you're shifting the gears. Remember, you press the clutch or depress the clutch when you're ready to shift gears. So when you first start the car, you have your foot on the clutch and you move it into first gear. When you have it in first gear, you're slowly letting up off of the clutch, and then you are putting it into first gear. And you'll hear the engine rev up, and when you hear that, you want to press the clutch again, shift it into second, and let up off of the clutch, and you're driving. Of course, the higher gears you get, the quicker the car is going. We don't condone drag racing or, illegal street racing, but of course people do get that exhilaration from driving a stick shift over an automatic. But at the same time, you just want to make sure that you are practicing everything, practicing safety, wear your seatbelt. Like I said, pay attention to your surroundings. And then once you get to that point of being on the road, just breathe, relax, and drive. So in conclusion, I hope I provided you enough information on how to drive a stick shift. Hope I provided you enough information on how to drive a stick shift, and I hope you're comfortable enough to start practicing how to drive a stick shift. Like I said, it seems hard at first, but it's actually really simple. You're just shifting the gears and you have the extra pedal to push, which is the clutch. So just keep that in mind as you practice. If you have any questions, seek out somebody who's experienced in driving a stick shift, or you can even find the manual. Can't find the manual, Google has everything. You can just Google it, and stay safe. Thank you.